Hi guys, this is SuperPoo3 and today we're finishing off our playthrough of Bioshock Infinite. This is the final chapter. We're just going to move over to Elizabeth at the bow of the ship and this will start the final sequence.
Look, you can use the songbird to bring the whole damn thing down. Destroy the siphon.
And that's what you want?
It's the only way we'll find the truth. Got my finger, Comstock, everything.
Okay, so we're going to have to hold down square for this.
Tear it all down. Whistler! Elizabeth! The bird, Elizabeth! I lost control! He's coming!
No, he isn't.
Where is he? Where is he?
It's okay. It's all right. I'm here. Just gotta go. There you go. There you go.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry. What is this place? Elizabeth?
It's a doorway. One of many. This way.
What do you mean it's a doorway? Where are you going?
Oh, come on. Yes, it's this way.
What Comstock said about your finger. Is there an answer here? Do you...
Down here.
It's pretty much confirmed right there that the Songbird's going to be like a big daddy for her. Because again, the young girl is needed for her power. And he does the whole red eye, green eye thing. Like even more to just remind you.
Elizabeth, what do you mean this is a doorway?
I'll have to show you.
Probably gonna regret this. City at the bottom of the ocean. Ridiculous.
As ridiculous as one in the clouds. I originally was thinking that Columbia had just sunk or something weird like that. But they're clearly going to be separate entities.
Thousands of doors. Opening all at once. My God, they're beautiful.
What, the stars?
Come on. Come on, it's this way. Come on.
Looks like we're going to have to go back.
Are you going to open it?
It's no good. Damn it. I thought once we were here, I could fully control it. I thought...
What is that?
It's a key.
Where did it come from?
It's always been there. I just couldn't see it. See? Not stars. They're doors.
Doors to...
To everywhere. All that's left is the choosing.
What are all these lighthouses? Why are we... Who are...
There are a million worlds. All different and all similar. Constants and variables.
What?
There's always a lighthouse. There's always a man. There's always a city.
How do you know this?
I can see them through the doors. You, me, Columbia, Songbird. But sometimes, something's different. Yet the same.
Constants and variables.
Yes.
You see that when you see the twins always saying that things are the same but different.
Look,
It's us.
not exactly. We swim in different oceans but land on the same shore. It always starts with a lighthouse.
I don't understand.
We don't need to. It'll happen all the same.
Why?
Because it does. Because it has. Because it will.
There's so many choices.
They all lead us to the same place. Where it started.
No one tells me where to go.
Booker. You've already been.
Hey, sorry, so as I was saying with the other one, you might remember that when you meet the twins, they keep saying things like, oh, he always chooses heads, or always, all the coin always lands on heads.
Wait a minute. I know this place. I was here. It's been 20 years ago, right after Wounded Knee. I was looking for...
Come on now, time's a-wasting.
Why were you here?
Are you ready to have your past erased? Are you ready to have your sins cleansed? Are you ready to be born again? Take my hand.
No. No, I don't want to.
But you already did, didn't you?
Well, I don't get a choice in the matter here.
Are you ready to be born again?
I am.
Do you hate your sins?
I do.
Do you hate your wickedness?
Yes.
Do you want to clean the slate, leave behind all you were before, and be born again in the blood of
Yes.
the Lamb? Jesus, wash this man clean. Father, make him
Stop
born
it.
again. Lord,
Stop it!
what
Get
are
up.
you doing to him?
Get off me!
Son,
Get off!
Son!
You didn't go through with it.
Think a dunk in the river's gonna change the things I've done? Let's get out of here. Hey, these doors of yours, they're all tears, right? Well, open one up. Open one up to Paris. I want to be shut of all this.
Not until we find Comstock.
Comstock's dead!
No. He was here. This way.
And what of my debts?
Bring us the girl, and wipe away the debt.
This is the man who hired me to find you.
Really?
Yes. The girl for the debt. Wait, no, this is wrong. What is this? There was no baby. I remember. No, there was no baby, and if there was, I sure as hell wouldn't give it over to this guy.
Booker, you don't leave this room until you do.
Do it. Time is running short. Bring us the girl, and wipe away the debt.
Go ahead.
No.
You can wait as long as you want. Eventually, you'll give him what he wants.
How do you know all this?
I can see all the doors, and what's behind all the doors. And behind one of them, I see him.
Comstock. What choice do I have?
The debt's paid. Mr. Comstock washes you of all your sins.
Bring us us the girl and wipe away the debt.
There was no baby. The deal was I go to Columbia to get you.
Booker, you're bleeding.
Oh. I remember. But I remember.
Now we've upset him.
I don't expect this next bit will do much for his mood.
Come on.
Yeah, if you remember as well at the beginning,
What are we doing here? Comstock's dead. We can just go on with our lives. You don't need
Dead?
to...
You mean like Chen Lin? Like Lady Comstock? No. He is alive in a million worlds. It's not over because the Prophet is dead. It will only be over when he never even lived in the first place.
Hey! Hey, the deal's off, you hear me?
Rather unstable.
The deal is off! Give her back! Give her back!
Fine, are you mad?
Give her back, you son of a bitch!
It's ready! Go!
No! No!
Shut down the machine!
No!
Shut it
Anna!
down! Shut down the
Anna!
machine! Now do it!
Give me back my daughter! No!
and that's how the tip of her finger gets cut off. That's so we now know that Anna, DeWitt's daughter, was actually Elizabeth. And what had happened?
Anna? No. No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Anna, I'm sorry.
She's gone, Booker. Anna's gone. You shared this room with your regret for almost 20 years. Until one day, a man came to you, offered you a chance at redemption. A chance for us to be together.
I told you it would work.
We already know it works. The question is, will he?
Anna.
You suppose he branded himself as some sort of penance? Don't see the point. What's done is done. What's done will be done. I suppose the brand is his hair shirt,
girl?
as he is ours.
Wipe away the debt. Here's the girl. Wipe away the debt.
See?
Here's the
He's
girl.
starting to put his story together.
Wipe away the
You're quite fond of this theory of yours.
He's manufacturing new memories from his old ones.
Well,
Wipe away.
the brain adapts.
I should know.
Here's the
I've
girl.
lived it.
Booker, wake up. Booker, wake up. This is where it started.
I sold you. I sold you.
To your credit, you did try to weasel out of the deal.
This is all Comstock's fault. What if I went back? Killed him before he did any of this?
Things get set in motion.
How would one know how far back to go?
That's the only way to do it. Go back to when he was born, and I'll smother this son of a bitch in his crib.
So with the memories adapting, that's how come we had that mission, because we remembered the last one of the most significant things for us, which was originally selling Elizabeth, or Anna, whichever you want to call her, which is why we had the initials of the false prophet on our hand. And it also makes sense that he'd call us the false prophet because we are Comstock, so he is Comstock being the prophet, and if you see, we look exactly like him, so we now know that we are in fact him. So that's why he keeps on getting referred to as the false prophet right at the beginning of the game.
Are you sure this is what you want?
I have to. It's the only way to undo what I've done to you.
Booker DeWitt, are you ready to
What
be
is this?
born again?
Why are we back here?
This isn't the same place, Booker.
Of course it is. I remember.
Are you ready to leave behind all
You're
that
not-
has gone before? Wipe the slate clean.
Who are
and
you?
start
You
anew.
chose to walk away,
Washed
but in
the
other
blood
oceans,
of the Lamb.
you didn't. You took the
Do you
baptism.
hate your
And you were
sins?
born again as a different man.
Do you hate your
It all has to
wickedness?
end. To have never started. Not just in this world, but in all of ours.
Smother him in the crab.
Smother, before the choice is made. Before you are
And
reborn.
what name shall you take, my son?
He's Zachary Comstock. He's Booker DeWitt.
No. I'm both.
See, so by stopping Comstock and killing him at the point when he's effectively created, they eliminate all of the other Elizabeths apart from the one who is in the timeline or reality. Because, you know, they're obviously alternate reality. So the one in the Okay, so now I'm going to try and explain what happened. Okay, so Comstock and Booker are obviously the same person. You see that from the baptism point, and you obviously see that they resemble each other. Now, what happens is there's only one Elizabeth at the end because only the timeline that we succeeded in rescuing her counts. All the others we managed to erase by her going around and making sure that Booker was killed at the baptism instead of going on to become Comstock. Now, the reason that we were given the mission at the beginning of the game was it was actually our memory telling us the one thing we remember, that one sentence of bring us the girl, wipe away the debt, which was actually talking about giving the baby over to the twins to give to Comstock. So basically Comstock didn't have a child. I'm not sure if he's aged quicker or what as well. That bit, I mean, I doubt it. It's probably just a significant amount of times passed and he realised he wants a hair which he couldn't have. So he ended up trying to get the other Booker's kid. So he stole it from a different reality because then it was actually his child ultimately. The whole thing is I think what we're supposed to see is also the idea that in the versions likely where Booker doesn't become Comstock, that is where Rapture is formed and is like a alternate thing, because regardless of what happens, there is always the lighthouse and something similar. So we're supposed to be seeing like alternate versions, and ultimately it was the same kind of story about girls being used for power, people trying to control everything and be effectively gods in a weird way. We see the other similarities with stuff like the songbirds being the Big Daddy. So if you look at it like that, you can kind of see why there's only one ending to this game, because your choices ultimately were insignificant. We could see that every time Booker always flipped heads on the coin, he always picked the I think it was number 77 ball, and the other things such as choosing her necklace or letting the other guy live or die did not make a difference, because those were just minor things, whereas the big event was actually the baptism, and that would seem to be one of the only things that could affect things on a much larger scale. So essentially, when we see those other 122 bookers go through that, we could argue that it's similar to all the different times that people play through the game or something along those lines. Obviously, though, everyone completes it, but you get what I'm saying, as in all of those little minor differences while you're playing are kind of, in essence, the different choices you can make for Booker, just like how you do. You could choose the two different brooches, but they're ultimately meaningless choices because the end destination is always the same. You can kind of see why there was some controversy over this, because I don't think people would have particularly liked the religious implications in the game, especially with the whole thing of obviously Comstock, who was born again, would ended up being a bad guy. I mean, I'm not really surprised by people being quite annoyed at that. I got to admit, I was kind of wondering as I was playing through the game exactly what bothered people so much, but then when it came to the ending, I kind of saw the reasons why people might have been slightly annoyed. If you've got any questions about the ending, do feel free to ask me, and I'll try and explain everything more clearly. But I think the main things you need to take away is just the choice in the game are insignificant. That's why there's only one ending. We know that Elizabeth is Booker's daughter. The reason he had the sign on his hand was because he branded himself to remember her, and like they mentioned, it was maybe some kind of penance. Comstock is obviously Booker as well, but in a different reality. And he just wanted his child back, or he wanted a child, so he went to an alternate timeline to get it. So I mean, those kind of things, when you look at it, the story's not actually as complicated as it first seems. I mean, you kind of do have to just deal with the fact that Elizabeth is effectively a god if she can warp and change reality as she does. But yeah, aside from that, like I said, those are the bare bones of the actual story of the game. All round, I thought it was a very fun game. I did like the gameplay. I'm not sure if I really preferred it to the first Bioshock. That game kind of probably left a more lasting impact with me, because I kind of felt the story in this one was trying to be too clever for its own good almost. I mean, it kind of dissected its own gameplay, kind of almost made fun of itself in a weird way. Whereas the original Bioshock, with the whole kind of subtlety of the would you kindly and all of that, was much cooler. I think as well that with this game, I didn't really feel the need to use the power so much, and they seemed not as effective at all compared to the powers in the other game. Maybe I would have felt it because admittedly I was playing on the hardest difficulty on Bioshock 1, which was why they were probably a lot more effective compared to the guns, which I'm sure when you play this one on 99 difficulty, the enemies would probably end up being bullet sponges, so you'd probably have to rely on the vigors in this one. And also, I guess you you were expected to sympathise with Elizabeth in this, whereas in the other one you're kind of they kind of paint it in a situation where you're in a desperate situation, so you might or might not abuse the chance to get power. I mean, naturally, still I was inclined to rescue, but you could see why there might have been at least some choice. Whereas in this one, like I said, you just kind of have to go along with everything. Also, definitely think there's a serious issue with brightness in this game. I'm not sure what they were thinking with so much lens flare effects as you go into and out of buildings. It literally gave me headaches. And I think that is one of the most off-putting things about this game. I mean, I enjoyed it, but seriously, getting a headache from playing a game when I don't normally get headaches from games just tells you how annoying some of the lighting effects in this game were. Anyway, I think that pretty much covers everything. I would recommend most people try out the game and play it for themselves, because I still think it was a fun experience, and when you pay more attention to the audio diaries you can get a lot more from the game. I was kind of annoyed that the audio diaries didn't have subtitles in this game as you were playing along, because when you're firing and stuff and other things going on you can't really hear what they're saying, and I'm not the kind of person who really wants to go back and start listening to the audio diaries from the menu. I kind of just took the knowledge in as we found them on the last game, which was much better. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and that concludes our playthrough. I do hope you enjoyed that. I will be starting The Last of Us soon, and that will be another group playthrough thing. So if you want to inquire about that, do let me know as well, and that will be on PSN Profiles. Until next time guys, thanks for watching.